Good evening, YouTube land. How are you guys and gals today? Well, I have so much to talk about and so much to share. But first, do you want to know what happened early this morning at 2 a.m.? I was in a deep, deep sleep. And when I say deep, I mean I was like in a deep sleep. At 2 a.m., who's not in a deep, deep sleep, right? Okay, so I'm laying in bed, and I was sleeping on my back, and I felt this poke right over my chest area. I mean, it was a hard poke, like it penetrated through my body and almost seemed to actually like poke at my heart, deep inside my chest. I'm not even exaggerating, you guys. When I woke up, I went like this, like that. I'm serious. I was like I'm, you know, when I talk to you guys and confide in you, I am not making this up. I promise you. I am not making this up. So I feel this hard jab in my chest, and I wake up and I'm like, and I knew I was supposed to get up. So I did. Now normally I follow what's being told to me in that still small voice. Sometimes it tells me to go outside and look up. Sometimes it tells me to go outside and look up, which I did about 3 nights ago. I was woke up at 3 in the morning. And I just woke up out of a deep sleep, and I went outside and I looked up at the moon because I heard that voice say, go outside and look up. When I looked up at the moon, it was like shaped in a half-sized moon, and it was really, really bright, and it was pretty, and I was looking at the stars, and I was thanking God for creation. But last night, at 2 o'clock in the morning, I woke up, and I don't even, know, I was like, this is what I said. I said, God, I know you woke me up, and I'm not exactly sure what you want me to do. So I walked down the stairs, and when I was still upstairs, I clearly heard like gunshots a couple miles away. I was like almost fearful. As a matter of fact, I was fearful, and I'll tell you why I was fearful, and I'll tell you what I did before I could even get back to sleep. But this is what I did when I was woke up. I woke up, I walked downstairs, and I said, God, I don't know what you want me to do. And I heard the still small voice say, pray. And so I'm like still like sleepy. You know when you're told to do something and you're like, okay, all right. I almost was like, I did it. Like part of me was like, I was frustrated because I wasn't frustrated. That's not a good word. I was tired. I didn't want to pray. I was tired. It was 2 o'clock in the morning. And that brings me to when Jesus was just about getting ready to be handed over to the soldiers. Remember, he told the disciples, you need to pray. You need to pray earnestly. You know, pray right now. Because a dark hour was upon them. And while Jesus walked a little distance off, into the olives, the olive garden. Anyways, Jesus went to go pray. And maybe a half hour or maybe even an hour passed. And he came back to the disciples and found them what? Sleeping. Because they were tired. And Jesus shook them and woke them up and said, I told you guys to pray. Why are you sleeping? And the disciples just kind of looked at each other like, what's wrong with him? Man, it's like midnight, 1 o'clock in the morning. We're supposed to be sleeping. Jesus was like, you're supposed to be praying. So last night, or I should say this morning, because 2 in the morning, that would be this morning, I obediently got on my hands and my knees in the living room, and first of all, I told God I was sorry. I said, God, I'm sorry. I'm sorry for my bad, sleepy, I'm too tired to pray attitude. And then I said, God, what am I supposed to pray for? And then God said, pray for the unbelievers right now. Pray for the unbelievers that refuse and reject to hear my words, that reject to turn their lives around, that love sin so much. And like Jesus said, hanging on the cross, Father God, please have mercy on them, for they don't know what they're doing. We're supposed to be praying for our brothers and our sisters in the Lord. And we're supposed to be praying for our brothers and our sisters that are under the strong delusion. I am going to have to double check this book, but Acts comes to my mind. I could be wrong because of my memory loss, but there is a strong delusion that a lot of people are under right now. They're under it. They've got that mindset of, oh, if it makes you feel good, do it. Oh, you know, it's your life, it's your body, do what you want with it. I mean, isn't there a song? Is it Rihanna? It's my body and I'm gonna do what I want with it. It's my mouth and I can speak what I want with it because it's my mouth. You know, so many people have that mindset. You know, the enemy is working, dare I say, overtime? Is there such a thing as triple time? People don't even know the spiritual battle that we're in right now. July 8th or 9th, 2015. The spiritual battle is on our minds. Doesn't anybody out there know? The most precious thing inside of you came from God. You know, and today I was praying and I wrote down some words, and I'll get to that in a minute. But 3 days ago, I was praying to the Lord out in my backyard. I said, Father God in heaven, I will not bow down to the Antichrist. I said, Father God, I will not worship Satan. I said, Father God, I will not take the mark of the beast. I said, Father God, you can count on me. I don't care what happens or what I have to go through. I want to be with you. That's what I want. I don't care what I have to go through. I want to see him. I want to be with him. He's all that matters to me. And when I see Oklahoma getting rid of the 10 Commandments, when I see a Luciferian statue going up, when I see people bickering and arguing over a Confederate flag, don't you guys understand? The Confederate flag was to end slavery. Half of the U.S., okay, not half of the U.S., some states wanted to abolish it, get rid of slavery. And the other half of the states that I cannot remember, they wanted to keep slavery. And then, when the Civil War started, that lasted 4 years, my brain says 1740 to, no, was it 1840? No, 17 something. It happened 150 years ago. The blacks and the whites came together. They were on the same page, okay? You had white generals in the army giving their white children over to the black nanny caregivers. I have already shared on my Google thing about the Confederate flag and how it's being taken down because some people are offended. Okay, be offended. But this video clearly is telling you guys that represents our civil rights. And I don't care what color you are. That war in America, I mean, do you know how many people died, both black and white? And check this out, they didn't even bury the dead back then. They didn't have, okay, let's put them in a coffin, they served in a war, we're gonna bury them, you know. They left them on the side of the road like roadkill, blacks and whites. Oh my gosh, I only have a couple more minutes. I wrote this down. Cruelty, hunger, joblessness, alcoholism, homelessness, abuse, sickness, disease, loneliness, temptation, struggle, slavery, bondage, elderly neglect, child neglect, uncertainty, isolation. Okay, that's all I wrote down. If you fall into this category, did you know that these categories do not see color? Did you know the devil, he don't care what color your skin is. The devil wants your soul. And right now, with Greece, that was the title, right? Okay. Greece is begging for help. He is like begging for help, but he's not asking God for help. He's not asking Jesus to come into his heart. As a matter of fact, I read on the internet, he's an atheist. He don't even believe in God. And his country is in dire problem. I almost said dire straits. They are having financial problems. Don't you see where this is going? We are in the same boat. We're living in the last days, you guys. Who are you going to beg for? What are you going to beg for, and who are you going to beg it from? That's the question. I don't know about you, but I ain't begging from the devil. And that's all I got because I got to go. Love you. Bye.